Clearly, our guests are well informed. They do tons of research to narrow their choices from amongst many in as competitive an automotive marketplace as ever. Usually, by the time they walk into a dealership, they have probably narrowed their choices down to only a couple of options. It is not uncommon for a guest to possess as much product knowledge as the salesperson they'll meet. This is unsurprising, frankly, when we consider the price of vehicles. It is certainly in our guests' best interest to be sure of what they want before they decide on a make and model. It's far too costly to do otherwise. Spending tens of thousands of dollars only to get it wrong and be unhappy may have severe negative financial implications. Generally, everyone is aware of steep initial ownership depreciation curves. Let's consider that point carefully for a moment. To reiterate, folks invest a large amount of their precious time considering exactly which vehicle best fits their needs and wants to avoid a shortened trade cycle and the resulting exposure to a steep initial ownership depreciation curve, period. Yet these same guests may make a rapidly considered, ill-informed decision not to take advantage of a vehicle service contract if we in the business office let them down, leading to this exact end result. After all, don't folks decide to get rid of vehicles every day that start giving them trouble? Vehicles which they would otherwise hang on to. Why? Because they don't want all of the exposure presented financially by the repair bills they may be encountering. Consider the following exchange. Mary, the economy option I definitely do not recommend in your case. The economy option is exactly the same as the preferred option, except we don't enjoy all the protection afforded by the guaranteed asset protection. We forfeit the guaranteed asset protection, which again, I don't recommend in your case because right out of the box, we're adding in approximately $3,226 worth of negative equity from the old loan into the new loan. However, by choosing the economy option, these are your payment choices. Clearly, because of this, the preferred option is the option that I recommend in your case. Which option works best for you and your family? Mary replies, I don't know. I don't think so. Is it the way it's packaged that concerns you? What do you mean? Mary inquires. You, like me, I'm sure would agree. This top piece, the full mechanical coverage, the one everyone typically refers to as bumper to bumper, that I'm not really allowed to call because the bumpers aren't covered, that this is the most important piece in the entire matrix. Surely you would agree with that. Mary retorts, no, I haven't had one in my old car and I haven't needed it. I'm glad you didn't have one on your old car because it would have been a waste of money or we wouldn't be having this conversation. But who would have thought that we'd be sitting here now, just a few years later, talking about this, looking out the window at a practically empty lot? Our lot would usually be full of new vehicles, but the factory can't get microchips. Confidence is high that these chips are globally sourced from the lowest, cheapest bidder. Because of this, it isn't hard to predict eventual supply chain disruptions, as well as the other issues that may occur. When these issues do occur, as we are unfortunately currently experiencing, who knows what the future cost of these parts will be? If the parts eventually have to be produced by someone else, the cost could increase dramatically. If the touchscreen radio alone in your new car currently costs thousands of dollars to replace, it's hard to imagine what future costs may be if the factory doesn't have access to its current supplier at that time. And that's just the cost of the parts. As far as labor is concerned, I'm unaware of a labor rate that went down from one year to the next. I'm only aware of increases. Our guests are aware of chip shortages and incredibly low new vehicle inventories. We owe it to them to explain how this may affect their future, automotive-related needs, and the associated expenses that could result. Think about it. Good luck and good selling.